Hello everyone, my name is Belinda and I'm from La Trobe Accommodation Services. This session today will tell you about accommodation in Melbourne and Sydney and will hopefully assist you in finding the right accommodation for you. If you have any further questions after this presentation, feel free to email us at living@latrobe.edu.au or ask us a question through our Facebook page. We will be providing links through the presentation so that you will have access to be able to contact us that way as well. So what we will cover today. So today we are going to cover the following topics. On-campus accommodation at La Trobe, the options, the costs and the benefits. We'll also cover off-campus accommodation near La Trobe, so what to do before visiting a real estate agent and how to find a place to live off-campus. So, in terms of our Melbourne campus in Bundoora, there are 3 main undergraduate colleges and a number of postgraduate and mature age options. All residences, regardless of whether they are undergraduate or postgraduate, have gas, electricity and water, and that is included in the rent. So the rental price has no additional cost for these utilities. We also have Polaris Shopping Centre, the shopping square nearby that's local, and it's only minutes from campus. And this includes supermarket, a butcher, chemist, beauty salon, travel centre, cafes, and many more services that a resident would find convenient. Our undergraduate Chisholm College is a self-catered college with single bedrooms, shared bathrooms and shared kitchens. There is a fitness room in Chisholm that all residents have access to. Our undergraduate Menzies College is also a self-catered college, so you cook for yourself, with single bedrooms, shared bathrooms and shared kitchens. There is a dedicated gym for Menzies residents as well. Now, our undergraduate Glen College includes a food package in your rent, so that this means you will be eating with other students in the Glen dining hall for breakfast and dinner. Glen offers single bedrooms with shared bathrooms. As of 2020, we will also have 2 levels of Glen College that will be fitted with kitchens and they will be self-catered, so you will be able to cook for yourself in Glen College. Also from 2020, we do have a new build coming on, which we will talk about shortly. And while this construction is happening, we do have 30% off one section of Glen. So we will give you the rates. Actually, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner there's a link to the La Trobe website, and the rates can be found there for all colleges. Glen Dining Hall also offers a meal package to all residents living on campus. So meals for all other residents do not need to be eaten in the dining hall and can be taken away. To find out more about this option, please see the Living at La Trobe website, and the path will be found during this presentation. We also offer on campus our postgraduate accommodation. Now, these accommodation options are not located in the heart of campus like our undergraduate colleges. They are situated on the outskirts of campus to allow for the feel of living in the suburbs with just a short stroll from campus. So we offer a complimentary bus called the Glider, which also takes you to campus from your residence. The locations for mature age and postgraduate residents is at Graduate House and University Lodge. So both Graduate House and University Lodge are single rooms with shared bathrooms and kitchens. We also have twin share rooms available and are a cheaper option for residents on a budget, or if you would like to live with a partner. We offer apartments on Waterdale Road, which are located next to the university grounds, and these apartments are self-contained with their own kitchen and bathroom. We also offer a number of rooms in our Barnes Way flats. These flats are located next to the Waterdale Road apartments and vary from sharing with one person to 6 people. These apartments are also self-contained with their own kitchen and bathroom. Price per room differs according to the amount of room or the amount of rooms in each flat. Now, with the undergraduate and postgraduate accommodation, you don't necessarily have to be an undergraduate or postgraduate to live in either. It really is about the age. So generally, anyone under the age of 24 will live in the undergraduate colleges, and anyone over the age of 24 will tend to live in the postgraduate or apartments style living. Okay, so I'll just go on to the next slide for you and we'll talk through the new build. So over 600 new beds are currently being built behind Glen East, and the brand new buildings will have shared and individual apartments available. They will be all self-contained, so you will be self-catered, so you will be cooking for yourself. They're going to have some large kitchens in there. Prices are yet to be confirmed, however they will be competitive with the current market, and the completion date is set to be mid-2020, so should be in time for semester 2 intakes, but we'll just have to see how that building goes midway through next year, but that is the current scheduled date so far. So we will have more information about that on our Living at La Trobe website, so you can keep up to date with that information, and also on our Facebook page for Living at La Trobe. So besides our Melbourne/Bundoora campus, we also have the city campus, and we also have our Bendigo and regional campuses as well. So on campus in Bendigo, Bendigo offers a variety of living arrangements. So Bendigo undergraduate or up to 24 years of age are offered their own bedroom within a shared residence. So you have a private space to relax and study whilst being able to spend time with friends. You will share a central lounge, a building called the Common Room, for relaxing and socialising with other residents. So accommodation styles include the hillside apartments, terraces and units, and further information can be found on the La Trobe website. So second and third year and postgraduate students can apply for accommodation in our villas in Bendigo. Groups of 4 students can live in self-contained and furnished villas within the Robert Holmes Village on the border of campus. So mature age students often prefer accommodation in our Ord House, which contains single bedrooms with shared bathrooms and laundry areas. All residences have a shared kitchen for self-catering. You are required to bring your own pots and pans and cutlery as well, but you will be allocated a cupboard and space in the fridge for all your items, and this is the same at our Melbourne Bundoora campus. Next, we'll be looking at our regional campus. So another popular regional campus is located in Albury, Wodonga. So McFarlane's Hill residences provide a single bedroom with shared common space, laundry, kitchen and dining space. East End units are fully furnished and have kitchen appliances. Residents have their own bedroom and shared kitchen and laundry and bathroom and living area. The cost of McFarlane's Hill and East End vary depending how long you stay, so you will be able to find more information on the link that's provided. The rates can be found by following the link to our Albury Wodonga accommodation page. So what we suggest you do is to hop online and have a look over the fees and charges, as well as our policies and guidelines. Fees and charges can be located under accommodation options on our webpage. So when it comes to living on campus, the additional costs that you're going to be looking at are the application fee, That will vary from year to year, but it's generally just under $60. The compulsory fee, which is also, we charge compulsory fees for the year to cover internet usage, downloads, maintenance on rooms, buildings and grounds, and small events throughout the year that we have on offer to our residents. This fee is applied to all residents as is non-refundable. It varies in price from year to year, but it will be around the $740 onwards mark from this year. Charges will differ depending on whether you are living on campus for a full contract or whether you are studying and living with us for only one semester. We no longer require a bond to be paid, so this is an advantage to living on campus compared to living off campus. Many off-campus providers will ask you for a bond as well as your first month's rent, but we do expect the compulsory fee to be paid at the time of your acceptance, so when you accept your offer, and there are terms around cancelling after acceptance, and there are costs involved. So it's probably a good idea if you are thinking of applying to just have a read over the information that is provided to you with the application stage regarding the terms of cancellation. We've also have a rules of residence book that we'll talk through shortly, and that will be able to provide you with further information as well. So rent is charged on a monthly basis, and a late fee may apply if not paid on time. So payment plans are also an option for residents requesting to pay at a certain time of the month that differs to the usual due date. So what we'll talk about next is contract dates. So contract dates vary depending on whether you're coming in at the start of the year, mid-semester, or even in, say, November. So a full year contract runs for 42 weeks, so equivalent to 294 nights. The full contract period runs from February through to the end of November, sometimes the start of December, and we also have a one semester contract. So if you're only studying for one semester, you just need to send through your COE to the Living at La Trobe email address, and we'll be able to change you from a full contract, which is February to November, December, and change you to a one semester contract. So you'd only be paying half the compulsory fee, you'd only be paying for half the year. Also, for those residents who will be moving in November, you'll actually be applying outside the contract period, so you'll be applying for what we call summer or term 3 accommodation, and that will run from November through till February. And then if you're wanting to stay longer than February, you have the option of signing up for the one semester contract or full year contract that will run from February to November, or just for one semester. So if you do have any queries, please feel free to email us and maybe let us know what date you're planning to come and how long your studies are for, and we can have a look at what contract suits you best. So next we'll be looking at expectations of living on campus. We have a set of rules that are outlined in the Rules of Residence booklet that we provide each resident. It also can be found online, and I've put the link on the screen for you. Now these rules are in place to outline the university's expectations of residents living on campus and to ensure that the safety of our residents as well. An example of the types of rules listed are regarding noise curfews, expected behaviour when living on campus, information about fees, rental due dates, disciplinary procedures, events and activities, just to name a few. So for those of you who prefer a quiet living area and or alcohol-free living area, you do have the option in all colleges of a quiet floor or a quiet alcohol-free area to be residing in. But please note they are very limited areas throughout our college that offer this, so please do let us know at the time of applying. There is a question if you would like to live in an alcohol-free or quiet-free area, to please tick the box, and that will come through to us so we can make sure we put you in the correct area suitable for you. Another thing to remember is all accommodation for both males and females. We don't have any separate wing that is just for women or just for men, so that's probably something to consider as well. So the benefits of living on campus, we'll have a chat about that next. So the benefits of living on campus, there are plenty. Besides being close to all your classes, lectures and tutorials, you also only have a 30-minute train ride to the city campus if you're studying at La Trobe City campus. So we do have some residents who live in our Melbourne Bundoora campus but study in the city. So they University Lodge is only 5-minute walk to the train station, and the train is only around about a 25-minute train ride into the city. So it's very easy to get to the city from our Melbourne Bundoora campus. We also have safety and security 24/7, so 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have security on site for our residents. We also have organised social events, academic support programs, health and wellbeing support, which we talk more about shortly, close access to library and university facilities, and it's a great way to meet other residents. So next we'll talk about the residential benefits of living on campus, and there are plenty of these. So some further benefits associated with living on campus are a dedicated team of staff committed to promoting a community living experience. So a team of student leaders who are committed to support and advance their fellow academic, health and social experiences. So you'll be able to, everyone will be assigned a student leader, every resident, and you will have the opportunity to talk to them about anything you like, academic support, etc. A 3-week orientation program we will be running, designed to develop new friendships and create new memorable experiences with 90 tailored optional activities. We also have inter-campus sports competitions, so we do try and keep people active as well. So some further residential benefits. We're looking at new social activities and engagement. So every year we do have new social activities to engage the residential community. We also have social experiences such as college balls, workshops and visits to the wildlife sanctuary. We have tools and resources provided for you to succeed and ease transition. So we have a textbook borrowing scheme, which is really good. So any textbook that you require, you can borrow from us. And if we don't have the textbook required, we will get it in for you. So it's always an option to not have to purchase those books. You can borrow them if need be. We also have DVD and board game borrowing. We have fun activities like college board games against each other, board game nights, trivia nights, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of fun that happens on campus as well. Cultural experience such as the Ignite program, which introduces various types of music, art and cultural experiences to the residents, so such as attending the musicals and in the city and things like that we will pay for. So how do you apply for accommodation? That is the big question. So applying for accommodation on campus, students can apply via the La Trobe University website. So you will need to register via the Star portal and select your campus as well as a room, as well as a college preference. So we don't have room preferences as such, but we do have college preferences for each campus. So you can select whether you choose to live on Menzies, Glen, Chisholm, University Lodge, Graduate House, etc. So applications open each year in August, so that on open day, which is usually the first week of August, that is when applications open. An allocation of rooms is considered by date of application. So the sooner you do apply, the more chance you have of receiving the college of your choice. Now, maybe to tell you a little bit about off-campus accommodation next. So off-campus accommodation, there are many options for off-campus accommodation. For example, you have the option of finding your own apartment, house, or sharing accommodation with others. So let's take a look at each option. So student hostels, they are similar to on-campus accommodation, except they are privately owned and they're not located on campus. So a shared house is probably the most common off-campus option, and this is where you jointly rent a private rental property with others. So it's usually through a landlord or a rental agency. So in a share house, you have your own bedroom, but share facilities and furnishings. So you might live in a shared house or shared flat or shared apartment. Share housing is generally the most affordable off-campus option. A rooming house is something that is sometimes advertised like shared accommodation or similar to a one-bedroom apartment. So each tenant has a separate residential agreement, generally has a lock on their bedroom door, and shares some living spaces. So it's slightly different to a shared house. Renting alone is also another option. It may be a little bit more expensive, but you can rent alone a flat or a unit from a landlord or real estate agent. You have sole responsibility for paying the bond, the rent, for paying utilities, gas, water, electricity and telephone. Disadvantages include the possibility of maybe feeling isolated and being solely responsible for the rent, shopping, cooking and the housework. But some people do like to live alone, especially if they do want to not have any distractions whilst trying to study. So our next option off campus to have a look at is having a look at the terms that you see. So for rent, for lease, for let, they all have the same meaning. So when renting, you can rent a house, a unit, an apartment, a studio or a bungalow, or on your own, or you can share with other people. So when you rent, you pay a bond and complete a condition report. So the bond is like a security deposit. So do ensure that you receive a receipt when you pay the bond. The condition report provides evidence of the condition of the property when you moved in. So it documents cleanliness, fixtures and fittings, and existing damage. So the report is essential as it may help you defend a bond claim or compensation claim for damage or cleaning costs at the conclusion of your tenancy. So yeah, I would certainly suggest completing a condition report on arrival to your new property. A rooming or hostel is not a traditional shared household. It's similar to what we mentioned in our last slide. To be a rooming house, there will be more than 4 people or four or more people living on the property. Generally, at a rooming house, there is a property manager who is responsible for the property. And also, it's not like shared accommodation where people get together and then choose somebody that they are going to live with. They don't actually get to choose those other people living in the rooming house. And through the property manager, you can rent a room or a bed individually, and sometimes you even do share a bedroom. So maybe let's next have a look at off-campus in Sydney. So we do have some students who prefer to or study in Sydney. So we will have a look at off-campus in Sydney quickly. So if considering studying at our Sydney campus, you also have the option of finding your own off-campus accommodation, such as an apartment, unit, house, flat. Whether it's Melbourne or Sydney accommodation, we recommend you browse the off-campus accommodation from our own accommodation services database called Study Stays. So there is a link at the bottom of the page to Study Stays. And yeah, I would suggest before making any commitment to off-campus or long-term accommodation or signing a contract, we strongly advise you to see the property firsthand. So have a look at Study Stays and just have a look through the types of units and houses available. It'll give you a good idea of what off-campus accommodation is out there. It is important to know that in Australia there are very strict laws governing rental accommodation and tenants. So probably a good idea not to accept any long-term off-campus accommodation without first seeing the property. I also wouldn't recommend signing or paying for anything if you are unsure, especially prior to moving in. Get familiar with the terminology of bonds and receipts and contracts and condition reports, because these are very familiar words that will be used by the real estate agents. The Tenants Union has a free multilingual advice service for helpful information on renting property. So it's probably worth visiting the website at the bottom of this slide to download some useful fact sheets. So continuing to have a look at off-campus in Sydney, you may also be interested in self-contained and shared apartments which cater for students. So they vary in price per week depending on location. So the urbanist Sydney is student accommodation in the city, and the prices differ according to room type. So I have included the link on the screen to find out more about these types of stays. The International Student Guide to Sydney offers further information about living, costs, accommodation, transport, Australian culture and more. So if you are planning on residing in Sydney, it's probably a good chance to have a look at those links. So next we'll be looking at how much it will cost to rent off campus. So when considering your rent, we recommend that you work out your funds in advance and how much you can afford to pay for accommodation. So we recommend that the rental amount is probably no more than, say, 30% of your income. Generally, if it's not a rooming house, you will need to pay rent in advance. So rent in advance is usually equal to 1 calendar month of rent, and the bond is usually equal to one calendar month of rent as well. So you will need to have those funds up front before moving in. So you may need to also pay and connect your utilities such as the phone, gas and electricity before moving in as well. So you don't generally need to pay for water connection. You will pay water on a monthly or 3-quarterly plan, but you don't actually need to pay for connection. So you might need to buy furniture as well. That's one thing to think about. And of course, there are food bills and internet that you will need to budget and factor in as well. So let's talk about some important tips. So it's always good to have important tips when moving out. Some important tips to remember. Remember not to pay any money prior to viewing the off-campus accommodation unless it's temporary accommodation, such as a motel or hotel, and you can confirm that the operator is genuine. I would also recommend never signing a contract for off-campus accommodation that you have not inspected the property first. So they are some useful tips, but if you do require further information and you are interested in finding somewhere to live, feel free to pop into our Melbourne Bundoora campus, located at Accommodation Services in Menzies College, or you can email us at living@latrobe.edu.au. If you're looking for off-campus accommodation close to the university, Accommodation Services also allows off-campus housing to advertise to our students on the Study Stays website. So please ensure that you view any of these properties prior to paying money or signing a contract, as these haven't been viewed by the university ourselves, so we only allow advertising, so it's up to the student to view that property. You can register for free as a student with the Study Stays website. You will also need to submit a current offer letter to living@latrobe.edu.au to access the contract information for listings. So any off-campus queries can be directed to the Senior Officer Off-Campus Accommodation at our Bundoora campus via the Living at Latrobe email address or by contacting our office. The details are on the screen. So finding a place to live can be time consuming. We encourage you to plan to secure your accommodation as early as you can. Look over a few places before making a decision or on where to live to make sure that you choose a suitable one for you. If you struggle with your search or if you have any questions about accommodation, please contact Latrobe International or Accommodation Services for assistance. On behalf of us all here at Latrobe, we wish you a safe journey and look forward to welcoming you on campus very soon. Thank you.